20 3/4, just shy of 4 pounds. Let's let her go. Yep, fourth one at 19 inches or better. Actually, no, it's a fifth because I got that 20.75. Wow, what a day. And like I said before, it is thanks to excellent fisheries management by the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission, making that section between Sunbury and Harrisburg catch and release for so many years. It's made all of these tributaries get stronger as a result. Catch and release, amazing. Alright, I'm just leaving home and it is just now starting to rain. So we got a cold rain today. It has cooled off quite a bit. And the other day when I inflated the kayak, it was like 80 degrees, and I inflated the outer tubes at 2.5 psi or pounds per square inch. And I checked it yesterday. It had already started cooling off yesterday, down into the low 50s, and it felt loose. Gave me a little squeeze. This isn't right. And that's what happens. Long story short, I checked it, you know, with the digital pump, and I went from 2.5 to 1.2. So I lost 1.3 pounds per square inch because it dropped 30 degrees. And that's kind of how it works. And you got to monitor that stuff. But I don't know. I just thought it was interesting to put a number on it that you lose that much. Conversely, if it's a cold day and you crank it up to the max, and I think maximum is supposed to be 3 pounds per square inch on the outer ones. By the way, it's much higher on the, you can crank it up to 15 psi in the center, and that drop stitch flooring is able to handle that extra pressure. That's what gives it its rigidity. Anyways, the outer ones should be at 3, but I put it at 2.5 because if it gets warm, then it's going to be at like apparently 4.3, which is how you can rupture them. In any case, it was kind of a cool thing to learn and put a number on. I will have to check it again in a few days when it goes from the 50s to the mid 80s. Still got some nice stain to it and some decent flow. It's been dropping for 6 days from a I mean it was probably up on this road a little bit. It was 6 feet higher 5 days ago. I did this thing with the spinnerbait. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I did the whole split ring and oxygen tubing thing, but that's not what that is. That's not gonna show up focusing wise, but this, come on, focus. It's size D thread. It's what I do when I tie my finesse jigs. I just wrapped it around there and put some, actually seal it with some Gorilla Glue. Make sure it wouldn't slide up. The idea is to keep that R-bend from stretching out as I'm catching fish. So we'll see. The split ring kept sliding around, and even with the oxygen tubing over it, it was just more frustration than function. Hopefully, I won't need to resort to finessing all the way down with this guy, but if I do, it's here, it's ready. I do have the finesse jig with the baby goat tied on, and I still have a crankbait on. I got faith in it. I'm gonna chuck that crankbait around for those fish that seem to chase and not really eat. And then I am going to, especially with this water clarity, straight swim the 5-inch Scented Jerk ShadZ. I may play around with, I know we talked about it last time, the full-size goat. Just swimming that thing through the middle of the water column too. That's it. That is my starting lineup. We got a Judge. We got Eternity RX10. Another Judge that's spinning. Another Eternity RX10. And one more Judge for the swimming presentation. It was not raining when I got here. Now it's pretty steady rain. Oh yeah, that's clean green water. That's the cleanest I've been fished in a while. I'm gonna make some longer cast, stay back from him a bit, and start with this. Yeah, switch to the Scented Jerk ShadZ that's shiner, not the redfish toad. I think I'm gonna do that real quick. Alright, so usually I start out with a really aggressive, flashy, thumpy, obvious bait to see if power fishing is gonna work, but this one is sort of a finessey, when you swim it, finessey sort of power fishing. I get to cover water, but it's not crazy aggressive, which I think matches this creek level. Man, that's a good first fish. My instinct was good on the whole, man, he jumped. Oh yeah, that's a big one. It's got a good one, like third cast on the Scented Jerk ShadZ, right above this ledge drop. Come here, very big fish. Show yourself. Show yourself for the camera. Nice. My instinct was good on throwing that. Swimming it. Yeah, I thought he was bigger than he was. He's still a nice 17-inch fish. He jumped big. It's important when swimming these things to look at the spin, which way is it spinning, help it along in that direction. Otherwise, you'll be replacing a lot of line over the course of the day. It snagged me up. Now I gotta crash it out of you. That 17 was in. There's some it's good rocky bottom. It's not crazy deep, but like nothing is. The river level dropped. So one way to look at this slow, straight swim presentation is you want to keep it off the bottom, but that's about it. I mean, you know, that's a good one there. Nice jumps. You know, it's not meant to make it look like a bait fish fleeing. You know what it's very similar to is, think of it as a miniature soft plastic glide bait. You know how slow people move glide baits? That's what you're doing with this. Now, the glide bait, yeah, I got pliers on you. The glide bait, you're trying to slow walk the dog. I'm trying to not do that. I can't really tell you why, but minus 15. I just like the straight swim. You want to rig this as straight as possible because you're not going to get it perfect. You want to get it as close to perfect as possible because the line twist is going to kill you. And we just talked about the unspinning it, but really have high standards on rigging that bait straight. The slower you move it, the the less line twist you're going to have. And they'll eat it. I mean, they'll eat it ticking the bottom too. I haven't fully explored doing that exactly, but I like keeping it up, and keeping it moving slowly towards you is something that maintains the line tension, so that when they grab it, you feel the bite. So, but also don't be afraid to experiment. If they really are aggressively going after it, do things like skitter it and then kill it. That's not what happened. It's not what those first two ate. Slow swim I just broke off. I didn't retie this after last trip. And I need to get back to just reeling down. Yeah, that was line failure. Yeah, I retied that, looked at it, then checked further up the line, looked for abrasion. I should have done that first because I found more, and it's gonna get a fresh leader. All right, totally fresh leader on there. Got the bait rigged nice and straight on that hook. You can use the ZWG if you're not into making your own stuff. I have got to get better and break the habit of hero hook sets. It's not necessary. Not with this fine wire hook. I think, even if you're doing something with like the double hook of a frog, there's some case to be made for reeling down all the way. But then you reel into the fish's weight, and then you wham, slam them, but not until you've reeled all the slack out. And like, I've been snap setting my whole life, and I just have come to believe that it's garbage. Snap setting, like, I was taught that fishing a tube forever ago, that okay, you got a bite, drop your rod tip and then yank it back up really hard. No, it's a recipe for break-offs. I don't know how it's taken me this long to figure that out, that just reeling into the fish, putting the power to it with the reel first is a good practice. Okay, I missed a good one there. I'll have to remember this. Reel. I was gonna say, I'll have to, I did it right that time. That's a good fish. I'll say. Do you have my bait in your mouth by any chance? I mean, I'll take it back. I'll get it out of your maw, out of your jaw, pulling you away because you got buddies that also want to play. I feel like I got you hooked pretty good. You're long. You're a long fish. Get out of that log. Get out of that log. I see you going for that log. Yeah. Good course correction there, Jeff. You did the right hook set there. It paid off. Paid off by having a good connection to this guy. It's good fish. We got a good presentation. It's early in the day. We got all day, and yes. Oh, yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Will this, I just popped out, presentation hold throughout the day? I would guess that this presentation is going it's going to work all day, but it may turn into, if it rains hard and this creek rises significantly, I might want to switch to a more aggressive presentation. So, looks like 17 1/4. They're like a twin to that first one. There's another nice reel down hook set. I mean, it's got something figured out today. I'll figure out how to keep you away from that log. All of you go for that log. Oh, look at John. See another 17. There, another 17. All right, so I'm catching them out of these shoreline eddies here, and you know, you could say, sure, steep bank, got decent depth on over there, nice rocky bottom, but what's important is that you look at the macro feature of, we're at the end of a pool. The ends of pools are important, and when you have good current habitat with bottom substrate that they like, at the point where the pool ends, beginnings and ends of pools are worth a little bit more attention than mid pools. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a mid pool habitat, but like, definitely pay attention to, we started corner pocket, got the first one, and broke off one there, and then caught one there, and then the next one was, you know, on up. But, you know, good looking bank eddies at the end of a pool kind of has a little bit higher value. Okay, he came out a good bit. Where are you gonna go? You gonna go mid-river? Awesome. I will gladly take you there. You're trying to hide underneath the boat. That isn't gonna really work. Get out of the log. Get out of the log. Get out of the log. At least I can see the log to me. It's a problem out here. But today's one of the days. These fish are gonna make sure I look like I know what I'm doing. I think I do. I will tell you that I look more like I know what I'm doing on days that I struggle. These fish have been caught. They got holes in the roof and mouth. Alright, I just cut off the one thing that's really working. It's automatic. I feel like experimenting. And, you know, when you got something new that you're trying, that you're excited about, give it a good fair shake. Pull it out on a day when they are hitting whatever. And at least it gives you some level of confidence that, yeah, they're going to eat it. Even if it is on a day when you know they're eating good. But I feel this is basically a swimming craw presentation. That is I got it in green pumpkin, regular goat on an exposed owner 5318 head. Will be snaggy as all get out if I let it get to the bottom, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna see if they hit this. Just swam the same way that they do, well, a lot of things, including the smaller version, the baby goats on the finesse jig. That took like no time at all, and that's a bigger fish. Yeah, you are more than 17, I know it. showing off some energy. That's exciting. Oh, you got friends. You have friends that are wondering, what are you eating, man? I want a piece. Can you share? Why don't you ever share? You're a greedy asshole. Did I say that? I think they do say it to each other. Like, you're greedy. Beautiful fish. Not a giant, but I'm gonna guess you go bigger than 17. But you hit the goat. Swam. Swimming goat. 17 and a half. Nice. It was the same reeling hook set. Just reel it. And now I'm not reeling, I'm just pulling him away from his friends with the motor. Especially with inflatable, they can pull you into all sorts of things. He's also burning off some energy here. Oh, that's big. That's big. That's another bigger than the last. Good to know the regular goat swam is a good thing. Fish. I hate to say what they are because I always overestimate that this is the biggest. But today, I believe it's been half an hour. It's been half an hour. And we're getting so many nice fish. This is the nicest. Biggest so far are 19 inches. Yep. Nice. 19 incher. We're gonna let him breathe, do a dome release over here. Not on the side where we can catch him. Pull him away from the friends. I already put that 17 and a half. Nice 19 incher caught on the Z-Man goat, just swimming it through the middle of the water column. Let's put this down. Watched one come up and mouth it and not hold it. So I'm gonna put some scent on there. So I am snagging these. Maybe I'm just moving it too slow. I'm letting it hit the bottom some, which I think has ruined at least one spot that I've spooked. I mean, that I had to crash. I had to go in after it. Good one on the goat, and let's see if I can run you out. Oh gosh, you are large. Yeah, that's a wide-bodied fish. Yes, another one on the goat. Okay. 17 and a half. It's really starting to rain now. followed it all the way out. I mean, he just took it at the kayak. Bring you over here, buddy. I do think that the bait slowly making its way to the kayak is a strike trigger. They feel like, uh-oh, it's gonna get away. I don't want it to hide under that thing, which is the boat. That's why they hit. I mean, you gotta reel it all the way to the boat, keep it in the water. We did that last time with the crankbait, figure eighting. Some Creek Smallmouth. Another one right at 17 and a half. I want to throw this, but I'm taking it off because I need this rod for something else. So yeah, we are supersizing. The thing, or the profile, we already know is working. I'm going back over what I've already fished. Knowing that I've caught a lot of 17s and a 19, maybe there's some bigger ones in there that, just by virtue of the fact that I've caught all of the 17s, not all of them, but caught a bunch of them, the remaining ones, maybe there's some remaining truly big fish, and throwing the Nessie, you know, this is just when everything's working really well, pump it up, man. Get some bigger, more aggressive stuff in there, because this is the time when big stuff is gonna shine. It's going to be the same presentation as what I've been doing, is just kind of straight swimming stuff. I think because this is a larger profile that's just got more surface area, I'm needing to really move it slow when it's in that, you know, when it's in the eddy on the side. If you move it out, I don't know, I feel more confident having this thing hang in that calm water. I feel like the slower I move it, the better the bite I'm gonna get. That was the first, like, I've been fishing it a while. I know I'm fishing used water, but that was the first, like, time something just bumped it, and that's all it was, is one messed with it. Oh, I missed a hit. No, it wasn't a hit. That was a test. It was just a test. It occurred to me after I had that one that bumped it, if I had a follow-up bait at the ready, I'd probably catch that fish. So I've got what I started with tied back on, and I don't know if I got one that's a little amped up on checking out that Nessie, and then I give him something a little bit smaller that, like, to really know what it feels like, you got to put it all the way in your mouth. I just watched one interact with it all the way out here and just swam around it, checking it out from 3 different angles and not eat it. It was a big fish. Just, I don't know. They're post-spawn fish, and a lot of times post-spawn fish don't always go aggressive and big, and man, if there's a day for it to be an aggressive bite, this is it. Back to I kept throwing the Scented Jerk ShadZ. It's hard to throw a bigger bait that is just, you're watching them interact with it and not eat it. it's just frustrating. When you know you got a bait that everything's eating. I will come back to the Nessie. I might even switch it out and throw the mag draft. We'll see. It's probably a good call. I should probably do that right now. I'm going to do that right now. I got to get better at just listening to my internal dialogue and not hesitating. Like, that's why I have the Lakewood box right here, is to act quickly and easily and without delay. Although this going from Nessie to mag draft is dialing up instead of dialing down. Okay, here we go with this. So I feel that getting the motor speed and the casting angles, like, are you casting up at a 45-degree angle? Are you casting perpendicular to the bank? They're messing with it, I can feel it. Or is it a steeper? They definitely mess with this more. I've had 3 fish mess with the mag draft in like a tenth the time it took to get 3 fish to mess with the Nessie. It's interesting. The casting angles definitely matter because the current is pulling on it, on your line, right? And it's either speeding it up or allowing it to go. There's another one messing with it at the speed that is ideal. No, that's just along. All right, I've fished. Oh gosh, he's off. That was a big fish on the mag draft, deep into that 80. Got off. What happened? Do I need to tighten that? I can't imagine. Man. Meaningfully ate it, and this is a spot I've worked. Probably had that fish come out and mess with the Nessie, but he did the reel down set after the reel down. So I feel like both of these baits, the Nessie and the mag draft, look at that thing spinning. That ain't good. Spin that a little further. They're baits that force you to slow down, because otherwise they blow out, right? Meaning they ride up on their sides, and which apparently I was doing because there's some line twist. Okay, that one's hooked. Been running hard, angry. Yeah, out here, using the motor again. Not a giant, he's a good fish. That one I missed was, I looked at it, I'm like, not a 20. It's a good fish though. This was not a 20. It's a wide body, probably, another 17 probably. Yeah, 17. Alright, I got one in here that messed with the mag draft, and I did the follow-up with the 5-inch Scented Jerk ShadZ. I love it when you see them coming. It's like, oh yeah, you like that? Okay, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Oh, mouth is open, bait is gone. Oh, seeing the eat. Even if it is a 16, it's freaking fantastic to watch them eat. Like the anticipation, man, yeah, that's fun. Watching it eat, like seeing it coming, like seeing the fish and be like, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. All right, You ate it. Wham! So good. Here. Just like that. You couldn't have scripted that better. These fish are... The Scented Jerk Shad is it, man. Like, it's... Swimming that thing is... just gets bit a lot. And I'm torn on, hey, do I keep throwing the big thing and only say, I only want 22-inch fish? No, I mean, you know, this one's probably 17 and a half. It's just fun. I'm having fun today. Not like, gotta win the tournament. No, just fun. And 17-inch fish are fun. You might do more than 17. What are you? 17 3/4. Got to see him eat. Oh, yes. Last two. Man, that makes it hard to pick up the mag draft. When I get to watch them eat the 5-inch Scented Jerk Shad, they follow it out. They don't hit it. The back of that eddy. They just watch it, watch it, watch it. Like, oh, what's that thing out there? It's swimming towards. It's going to get away. I better eat it. Okay. Oh, gosh. Man. That was a big fish on the mag draft. That's two that I've hooked with a mag draft and I've lost. I'll tell you what I want to do. They're going to go for big stuff. And they're hitting the Scented Jerk Shad. Let me go 7 on the Scented Jerk Shad. I think there's something of the mechanics of the hook is in them, right? But they jump, and you got them hooked, but you have this weight whipping around like to dislodge it. So, man, I don't like losing them. There's 2 big ones I lost. Let's throw the 7-inch Scented Jerk Shad as I'm retying or tying this hook on for the 7-inch Scented Jerk Shad. I will remind you of a message that I've kind of talked about in the last several videos, that you not avoid fishing on rainy days. It's just doing yourself a huge favor to fish on rainy days. I will tell you that I do throw colors other than white in the 7-inch Scented Jerk Shad, but I really prefer the white for one simple reason. Although I do wish they made it in that shiner color. The 7-incher in shiner color would be amazing. They don't make it. But the simple fact that, like, oh, check the drag. It's 2 years. That you get to visually track it. You get to look out there and see a fish come up behind it and interact with it. That white contrast with the dark bottom, and you get that huge rush of watching the fish come up behind it. Okay, that was a jump. But I don't know. Would that have thrown the mag draft? Probably. I don't know. Maybe not. It's not a real big fish, but you know, the hookups with this setup, I just got more faith in. Well, decent. Probably 16er. Maybe bigger. You don't deserve this, but I'm going to do it anyways. Watch that eat of the 7, because relatively clean water, and that big white target is just easy to track. And this one didn't like mess with it; it just ran up and ate it, which is, I'd like them to all do that. I don't know. Maybe I don't. Maybe I do like the slow approach and the anticipation, and you know. Number 17. I believe that the most enticing thing that you can do with this 7-inch Scented Jerk Shad is to move it so slow that that side-to-side action is, it's still there, but it's so infrequent, so elongated, so like it doesn't, what I mean is it doesn't go like this. It goes like this. That's what's getting them to eat. It's funny to think that a month from now I'm gonna be using this bait like only on the surface at full speed, straight skiing instead of straight swimming. Same bait. Everything speeds up when it gets warm. It's hot, you start flying around. So I'll tell you that the mag draft for sure hooked the biggest fish of the day. Lost 2 of them, but this thing, the goat, caught the biggest fish of the day. So I'm going to put that back into rotation. I feel like I can move it a little bit faster, and it is getting some attention. I want to burn through some river miles today, and I have not. I've had a good, I don't know, first hour. It's only been an hour here close to where I put in, but for sure the 7-inch Scented Jerk Shad takes some time, just doing that super slow glide. And if I do that everywhere, I'm not going to cover much water. So I feel like the goat is something I can move a little bit quicker, does get bit, and is just a good search bait. All right, thus far I've been fishing this bank because it is the outside bend with the steep bank, but I'm losing it. Let me show you. And I'm going to switch to the other side. So it's been curving this way, and now it's going to curve this way, so the opposite shore. So I've been fishing this side, and I'm going to switch to the opposite shore because now that is the steep outside bend with, I'm going to say, better habitat than the inside bend. Here's a closer look. This is the bank that I have been fishing on. Every time I come to it up to this point, it's been a rocky bottom. And right now, it's mud. And I'm telling you, we go to that other side, outside bank, that's gonna have a rocky bottom. That's what we want. I guess I was wrong about switching banks. I took one more cast at where I was, and this thing latched onto the 7. I mean, I guess that's just instinct. Like, that looks, it's worth one more cast here, and I'm glad I listened to my own voice of make the cast. That's better than what I caught. I mean, it's not 19, but it's a good fish. Let's take a look. No way. That's 19. So, Ty's big for the day. Beautiful. Beautiful 19-incher. Will he be here in another 3 weeks? Or is he gotta scurry on down to the Susquehanna River? I don't know. Glad he ate. Want to see some baby smallmouth? See if you can spot them. They're tiny and black. Completely black. Same side. Yeah, you're good. This is on the goat. Swimming the goat. You know, I talked about, nope, we gotta switch sides. But this is right where I filmed the smallmouth fry. So, you know, they probably spawned right here and they're just chilling out. Post spawn, just chilling. Almost 18. I would call you 17 3/4. Solidly 17 3/4. I'm gonna have to glue that into place, but for sure the goat in green pumpkin with that little bit of skirt. I did shorten it. It's not full length. But tell me that isn't a craw looking thing. Just out for a swim where it doesn't belong. I haven't come off this bank yet, and I just figured out what it has to offer. That's a tributary. That's a nice little notch in the bank that high water, they can jump right up in there. And honestly, some of them might have spawned in that. Yeah, you know, there had to be a reason they like this bank. But that was a good concentration of big fish in smallmouth fry. Successful spawn happened somewhere in here. Alright, another good one from the same spot that I was about to abandon. And I gotta show it to you. I'll pull the other camera out here in a minute, but this one's on the 7-inch Scented Jerk ShadZ. I feel like it really is critical to say that these are slow glides. Slow. I think glide probably gives it too much motion, you know, for this big bait fish profile. I'm gonna tell you that it hangs there more than it glides. Glide has a connotation of considerable movement, and this is not moving considerably at all. So another nice 17 1/4. Let's take a look at this spot. We already kind of have when I said we're going to go to that bank. Yeah, let me show you what is probably just the end of the inside bend. So those fry were like right there, and where I showed you that it was a muddy bank, but you know, somewhere in this vicinity they've spawned and they haven't moved far. So let's move up a little bit and we'll show you this a little bit closer. So they fry were there. This is actually got 2 fish in there. You got this sweeper, this tree that's coming out. They probably like that when it's sunny. Nice big canopy to give them shade. And the 19 and a couple 17 plus were just on the upstream side of that. And overall, I'm going to tell you, it's the end of the inside bend before it becomes the outside bend. It doesn't look that great up in there. Like, that's shallow sand or mud. They liked something about there to spawn, but now they're out here on this current seam, hitting slow moving, middle of the water column, gliding, not gliding, just hanging in current. 7-inch Scented Jerk. Although did get a couple on the goat that was swimming. This is unusual to me. Outside bend, very steep. Like, people that live along this creek have big ladders coming down. Would have thought I'd have been wrecking them on this. Haven't caught anything. I think it's got more current than I realized. Not enough of current break anywhere. There's a couple spots. I'm looking at one of them. There should be a fish right up in there. So I gotta skip it way up under the canopy and do my best to let the 7-inch Scented Jerk Shad hang. Not really glide. Not do the hunt deal, but let it just get the idea. Alright, finally got something good on that outside bend, and it's on the swimming the goat. Do you think goats like to swim? Like real goats? I should ask Trey. He's got goats. He would know. Let's see. I will tell you, I've fished most of that outside bend before getting that one, and I will ask you, do you enjoy being wrong? Finding out that you were wrong, because this outside bend just made me wrong, or maybe I just haven't figured out how to present to this structure, but I don't think so. I think there are fewer fish on it, and if you dislike being wrong so much that it creates a barrier to, you're looking at it as an opportunity to learn. Like, I like when I find out, I was wrong. My assumptions were incorrect. I, thought this, and that turned out to not be the case. I think too many people protect themselves from that discomfort of admitting, I was wrong. I was wrong about the outside bank, and I'm going to go back and fish the other bank just to see, hey, did any of that continue? But acknowledgement of being wrong and embracing it and saying, cool, I have something to learn, is a critical part of pattern development and just life. Let me do the opposite side. Compare. I got one good fish. I had another come off, but it was all the way at the top. Long section, outside bend, did not produce. Let's find out how wrong I was about this bank. Going on this bank. So I'm not really lighting them up on this bank either, and I'm thinking it's less of, that bank versus this bank, and more of like this section of river. And of the creek. But you know, there's overall more current here, and I just feel like these fish, you know, they've spawned in areas that have current breaks. Like that's part of the deal. You know, pockets where they can put the beds that are protected, like that creek. I'm sure they spawned up in that creek mouth. But they're tired. Like post-spawn fish don't typically go screaming around like super fast. They're kind of lazy. They're tired. They've done the most physically exhausting thing in their life cycle. They've just finished that. They've finished their marathon. And do they want to hop on a treadmill? No. See something I want. This probably, it's a Lowe's bucket. Got washed out. More recent high water events. I'm gonna secure this and maybe use it to put more trash in. So everybody I know that fishes these mag drafts on a regular basis, it kind of says the same thing with regard to like how many you lose. You know, you're gonna get the big bites. That's the trade-off. You're gonna lose, you know, a certain percentage. I think it's an unacceptable percentage. It's a lot. Watch that eat. That is on the mag draft. It's a good fish. He's jumped twice. And stayed buttoned. Not a giant, but a good solid 17 and a half. Mag draft. Haven't seen. Oh, that's it. Don't you jump. Don't jump. Good one. Alright. So now this one didn't. Look at them all peeing. Why are you peeing on me? You pissed? So I think I'm gonna do this thing today that keeps me from having to make this super long run back down at the end of the day. I'm gonna do it in the middle of the day and go past where I put in, and I don't know, just enjoy the advancing back up to, I just gotta time it right. But I think in just doing that, I'll enjoy a better evening bite than what I've been doing, which is to run downstream, which I don't fish well going downstream compared to upstream. One jump. Oh, off. I didn't lose him on the jump, but I lost him. Alright. How do I keep you from jumping? Do I ask you nicely? Would that work? No, probably not. They're not very compliant animals. So I've been watching it. The number of fish that run up to this thing and just blow it kisses is just frustrating. It's so many fish that just run up and don't eat it. I am catching a lot of smaller ones on it as well. That's probably 15 or. These are the ones that scare me, that they can absolutely just rip that tail off when they jump and just shred it. And it's not a crazy expensive bait. It's also not cheap. One thing's for sure, there are no fish in the vicinity when this thing lands that are unaware of its arrival, which I think works in its favor. I mean, that big splat, everything takes notice, and then, you know, gets to look at a big, easy meal, a sick fish that's something's wrong with it. Got to take it out of the rotation, clean it up. So I tried these Shadtrons earlier in the year, and I don't think conditions were right when I had it up on the Juniata, but they are hitting these swim baits now. When they're hitting the mag draft, I figure the time to give this one a go. I like that it's got the pass through to a treble hook that you get to choose. I put the Rugi quad in there, and that really should mean that when they jump, these fish, you know, can't use the leverage of the soft plastic to like dislodge the hook. I guess the design of that wedge tail as opposed to the boot, a little different. Huh. That's encouraging. Look at this when it comes up. I can get them up. Alright, so what we got here is treble hook in the fish, and the bait totally slid up the line. Nice 17.5 incher on the Shadtron, the Z-Man Shadtron, which is the line through. Alright, so that's the first fish I've caught on this bait, and you know, it's got these little metal nubs that the shank of the hook sits down in, and that's cool to catch one on this bait for the first time. That's a smaller one, and just got a 17.5. That's cool, and it didn't have the trouble with jumping and using the plastic as leverage to rip it out. That's what line throughs do. Alright, I'm going to try the bigger one now, and I use the same hook, and that's too wide. So what I'm doing is I got a pair of pliers, and I'm just pinching them so they come in a little bit and they grab it a little bit better. I do like you can move these a lot faster than a mag drop. It gives it some level of versatility fishing in current. Let's power up through this. I just prefer to paddle with it to be able to give it a little more oomph to get past if the motor hits. Alright, that's the Mulletron. I put the quad hook on the top there, pass through from the nose to that point. It's another bait that will slide up the line once you have a fish that eats it and jumps. I definitely just had one fully engulf this thing, and somehow right at the wrong moment I fumbled the reel handle and stopped reeling, like I lost track of the grip. It was a big fish that ate it. Alright, so I've definitely had this in a few fish's mouths, but I haven't gotten as many bites with this bait than I did the mag draft. I think part of it is that this is a fast sink and I gotta keep it moving in order to to not have it on bottom. So that was a muskie that came up and kissed it. I saw him pretty good, pretty clearly. Wow, he didn't eat it. He definitely made contact with it. All right, this time I'm gonna use that top hook. That's the one that it comes with. Looks like a sticky little sucker. So I don't know what to tell you in terms of how to, when you do the line through, to make sure it goes to the side you want it to go to. I mean, it was, I think I tried like 4 or 5 times before it went to the top. It wanted to go to the bottom on me. But yeah, this has a different, for sure a different feel, being that slow sink. Yeah, I just had one pick it up and swim at me with it. Like, I'm reeling at this speed and like the line goes all the way slack, and I'm reeling as fast as I can, and I can't keep up with this fish. So no doubt there are some fish in this pool and I am picking it apart, but I fully recognize the mistake I've made, that I'm making, continuing to make, in really picking apart this pool. Why am I doing it? It's shallow, there's a lot of moving water in it, it doesn't fit the bill for anything that pattern wise has been working today. Wonder why that muskie was there. Why am I doing it? Why do we do that? Well, I'm fishing history instead of fishing the day. I think we all do it. I have history here. Now, it's not this time of year. It's laminar flow. It's when it's super low. I've caught one that was 3 ounces shy of 5 pounds here in July, mid-July. Why is it still up here? Why shouldn't it have gone back down to the river? Well, there's still food. They stick around because there's food, and there's also springs. They like the springs. But I'm fishing history instead of fishing the day, and I think it's about time for me to do the U-turn thing and go downstream. I did really well near the launch. Maybe I go beyond it, get into a little bit better bite. But for now, I'm like, man, I want this pool to be as good as it was. I have to look back. I'm guessing 12 to 14 years ago. Yeah, I have history here. Good, fun history. Just summer history, not now, you know, springtime, May. All right, this is my turnaround point. I'm gonna take this off and I'm gonna put this on because I really want to test out how that size D thread tie is gonna hold up. If it's a good solution for the issue of the R-bend flexing and eventually breaking after catching so many fish. So let's go catch some fish on the spinnerbait. It's kind of a little bit clear, I think, for it to be ideal, but I'm gonna catch some fish on a spinnerbait. I'll get you. First of many that'll test. Yep, the thing didn't work. It didn't work. You see that? It just slid up. All right. Maybe do a wire wrap. That's an idea. Instead of thread. Kind of like how they tie the skirt on the Jackhammer. Be a durable way to girdle it. I might actually have to bend the one side back just so it has an hourglass shape to hold whatever I'm girdling it with. This is pretty much exactly where I got the one that was almost 5 in July. Well, that's a good big fish. Well, and I'm kind of uncontrollably drifting downstream into a bunch of logs, and it's a good fish. Alright, we got it. Take care of some things here. Fish. You know, another cookie cutter 17. I'm gonna get the white 1/2 ounce Jackhammer out and put the 7-inch Scented Jerk Shad on it. Actually, I was gonna throw the 7-inch Scented Jerk Shad on there, but I had a little bit better idea, because they are into that boot tail, a little bit slower side wobble. I put a 6-inch diesel minnow on the 1/2 ounce Jackhammer. Caught some great fish on this rig in the past. More largemouth than smallmouth, actually. I feel like, you know, I think in the past I've used the Gold Shiner one with the Golden Boy 6-inch diesel minnow. A lot of different combinations that you can do, but similar big target. And the 7-inch Scented Jerk Shad, because it has no resistance, will move through a lot quicker. This is a little bit more overt, more bouncy, blah blah blah. Here I am, which, you know, they've been eating that, just a little slower. I should probably have a 3/8 ounce, but half felt right for some reason. I've made it below the launch. Gonna fish this little whitewater here with the diesel minnow Jackhammer combo. So yeah, I stopped by the truck, put more layers on. I got a knit cap and like an extra sweatshirt because it's got cold and rainy. It's definitely a cold front rain. Got one that chased it in that whitewater. It was small. Let's go find that calm bank pocket water. Little eddy here where a big one came out and showed himself by messing with the Jackhammer. This is just the follow-up, giving him the 5-inch Scented Jerk Shad. Slow swim. Oh. There we go on the Jackhammer. These ledges. Me up. Gotcha on the diesel Jackhammer combo. Gutter 17. Had a big one show itself by attacking that. Really overt, loud, flashy, but he didn't fully eat it. So follow up, give him the 7-inch. At least I found a concentration of fish. Throw on the Jackhammer, and that's a good one. Good follow up. He was excitable, and having a follow-up bait that matches the one that you're throwing for sure helps. White Jackhammer, white Scented Jerk Shad. I've been Straining a lot of water with the jackhammer. Not getting a lot of bites, but that's a good one. Okay. Yeah, we gotta get away from this. I feel that I was doing better early in the day, going slow, gliding soft plastics through the middle of the water column. And I'm not writing off another 7. I don't have to measure it. I'm not writing this off. But they're not all the way cranked up looking to chase. A couple of them will. But if I'm on a concentration of fish, the slow swimming, the soft plastic through the middle of the water column, that's it. They will eat it. Kind of covering ground and just chucking the jackhammer as I go at whatever I think looks good. And it's given me a preview for the trip back up. You know, places where I'm getting bit. I see see fish chase it back up and just kind of make a mental note. Yeah, there's a good one there. There's probably some others. So, preview on the way down and pick it apart on the way back up. That's a large fish. Oh, there's 2 of them. And I've got the bigger of the 2. How often does that happen? Like, never. Yeah, it just happened. It just happened. They were competitive. So, that's cool. 2 fish fighting for it. The bigger one got it. Yeah. 18.5 incher. For sure, post spawn. Look at that tail. See you, guy. Like, mental note, triangulation. There's some landmarks I'm paying attention to, because that was one good fish in the area. And there was another one with it. It was probably 17.5. That means something. That's a collection of, a concentration of sorts. I will pick it apart on the way back up. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a nice fish. I haven't moved real far from where I got to 18. Can you get into that? Thank you. Been out in this real ledgy stuff in the middle. It's kind of new to have current breaks out in the middle, like where, I don't know, further up I just didn't have it. It was just a lot of current and nothing slowing it down. Oh, there's one. Yeah, he's off. He was about 15, and that's kind of the size that I've been seeing out here in the current, and where I got that 18.5, similar to where I got the 19s, and it wasn't this. This is fun. There's a bunch of fish out here, but I don't know that it's big fish water right now. Seems like big fish water is where it's deep and sort of chill and not a lot of current, and I think there's bigger fish are in recovery mode, and it's easy to recover where there's not a lot of current. Now, the other day I sort of railed pretty hard against like the whole practice of floating downstream and fishing, and how I do better but I still believe it that I do better moving upstream. But I think I've been doing it in such high flow that it absolutely makes it harder to fish downstream when there's heavier flow. This isn't that bad. This is like, you know, chucking downstream into pockets. Just drift and chuck fishing is good with this. But come on. But like when I was in those sections that I was complaining I don't fish well moving downstream, it was higher water, it was pushy, you really had to set up on individual spots, and when it gets low, they're spread out more, and this chuck and wind, sort of drift down, chuck and wind practice is effective. It's not, you know, not hateful. Now, you put 3 more feet of water in here, which I've been in this creek recently with 3 more feet of water, and that thing's flooded in front of me, and he got off. And these fish aren't out here in these places that I can cast downstream at and be effective. So it's a high water flow. Like it makes it harder to kind of drift and chuck than it is higher flow, and it's not that high right now. Yeah. Another one in the ledges. That's a big one, and he's near pads. I'm not at all surprised that this fish is near pads. Oh, there's another one. I just scooped down into that log jam. I didn't see him. So let me focus on getting this one into that. Yeah, there was another one right there. I heard the motor banging and said, I'm out of here. I am not sticking around to find out what that's about. Yep. Yeah, the pads, I don't remember there being so many pads in these creeks in years prior. So it's 18, let's see. 18.25, so nice. We're for sure over 90 inches at this point. Very cool. I feel like I've gone down far enough. I do need to be out of that park before sunset, whenever that is tonight. So let's head on up and remember some of the places where we saw good activity and just slow down and pick them apart. That's how I like to catch them. Watch that white disappear. Just control that scented jerk shad. Let it hang. Not glide, but just hang. Yeah, that's a nice fish. You get in the net, please. Yep, in this net. Thank you. Disappear. So many 17s. How I want to catch them is the 7-inch scented jerk shad. How it makes more sense to use my time is to just, you know, show this bait, the jackhammer, to more fish. You know, it's the math. They are hitting it. I think that the big fish, you know, hit the 7-inch Scented Jerk Shad, you know, just hovered in their face better than this. But they'll also hit this, you know. So. It's a totally unopened Rice Krispie treat. Totally. That's one way to get rewarded for picking up trash. Keep catching 17s, and when the jackhammer gets stopped, I don't really know. You know, I've actually not filmed the next 3 fish that are that range. That was an interesting eat to watch. This might have been a fish I just missed on the jackhammer. I'm in the same area, and he tagged the jackhammer and didn't get hooked. I threw back in with the Scented Jerk Shad and didn't hook him where he was. I just took this one above him. Might be the same fish. I don't know. Golly. I think I had you hooked, dude. Yeah. Thank you for playing. Yeah, that was a follow-up. Oh, goodness. That thing tagged the jackhammer and didn't eat it. And the Scented Jerk Shad does some more thing. A little more than 18, we'll call it 18. There's like 3 bigs right there. I got one of them hooked, but there's like 3 of them, at least this size. Awesome, right where the 18 was. I'm gonna run this away. I've caught 2 bigs in one spot against that bridge. I know that they like walls. Buddy Jake loves fishing a certain wall in Harrisburg because they're good at pushing food up against them. I think he suggested, hey, that's why that concrete. Gosh, it's just barely in them, but it's right at the upper lip. They do have tough. I gotta get flies on it. Anyhow, these fish will corral things against the sideline, so to speak. There, got it out. What a gorgeous fish. Let's get it quick. 19. Third one, 19 or better today. That's a pretty wide-bodied one. Thank you. Awesome. Really fantastic day. See you again. Run it up against the wall again. Just all I'm doing is picking up slack. I can see it swing. Missed one there. Let's try to move it. I'm just trying to maintain contact with it as it's drifting along that wall. Good fish on the slowly gliding 7-inch jerk shad. It's slowly move it towards yourself. It is gliding into the log. And that's what you do. You set the hook on the log. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording. Feels substantial. Yeah. Look how dark he is. So dark. It's just stout. Really stout. 16.5 inches. Oh, I watched that eat right in front. I was getting ready to lift it up out of the water. You still breathe. Scoop you in. I love watching it eat. I love watching them eat. 17.5 incher flopped around in here, landed on top of my peanut butter and jelly sandwich in the bag, try to eat it through the bag. They're chilling. That's something very special. I hope this thing stays on. It's a really big fish. Oh gosh. Oh my. Oh. That's a large fish. That thing jumped once really amazingly well. Just launched. We're gonna get a weight. This thing's amazing. Okay, this one is 20 3/4 inches long. We'll get a weight. I'm curious to know what a post-spawn 20 3/4 inch fish looks like. He's not even 4. He's just shy of 4, so 315 7/8. Couldn't give me 4, huh? Nope. Oh man. But 20 3/4 inches. Beautiful, beautiful Susquehanna fish that runs up in the creek. I'm gonna let this guy breathe and we're gonna do a release shot with the dome. I do want to talk a little bit about how we get, you know, a day like today where I've had 3 of them 19 inches or better, a couple more 18s, countless 17s, and this 20 3/4 inch. I will tell you that, I don't know, 15 years ago, if I caught an 18.5 on this creek, it was an event. What's changed? What is different? 20 3/4, just shy of 4 pounds. Let's let her go. So, for sure, the 7-inch Scented Jerk ShadZ is getting the bulk of the big fish bite. The Jackhammer's done well, but I wanted to talk a little bit about why we have such strong fisheries. And I'm going to tell you, the creeks that I've been in, you know, in my recent videos, they all enter the Susquehanna between Sunbury and Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. They have that in common. They're strong fisheries, especially in the spring. And I will tell you, 15 years ago, if I caught an 18.5 incher on this creek, it was a big deal. Today I have, what, 4 of them? 5 of them that size or better. And I know government agencies get a lot of blame when things go wrong, but this has gone right. The fisheries connected to the Susquehanna between Harrisburg and Sunbury are so strong. Why? What changed? Well, at some point, I don't even know the year, but this fishery between, Sunbury and Harrisburg changed to a catch and release mandatory section. What that did for that section of the river, but also all of the creeks connected to it, the whole fishery got crazy strong for big fish, for numbers of fish, and man, it's an economic boom for the region. Kayak fishing tournaments come here, other tournaments come. I mean, people travel from all over the place to fish right here. And, the biologist got it right. The biologist said, hey, this is worth protecting. This is worth making catch and release. I know that there are sometimes up against people that say, no, I want to be able to harvest. And some people do anyways, and that's a bummer. But, man, by and large, the catch and release fishing populace of this region is complied with that regulation that it's catch and release. And man, we have such an amazing fishery thanks to that excellent decision by a fisheries biologist and a government agency in charge of protecting the fishery. Another great fish. Oh man. Yep, fourth one at 19 inches or better. Actually, no, it's a fifth because I got that 20.75. Wow, what a day. And like I said before, it is thanks to excellent fisheries management by the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission, making that section between Sunbury and Harrisburg catch and release for so many years. It's made all of these tributaries get stronger as a result. Catch and release, amazing. So I wish I wasn't parked at a park that had a gate that closes at sunset, because man, I want to stay until it's dark. Fish off the jackhammer. I'm making the run back up, and I'm just chucking this as I go. Getting this net, me, please. I gotta get out of here, but I keep catching fish. Next this one. I don't think it's 19, so it probably doesn't matter for the 5 fish total. It's it's beautiful 18.5 incher. It's amazing to have a day where 18.5 doesn't register in your top 5. Phenomenal. So I've had an amazing day. I'll take a few more casts on the way up, but I do need to push the Torpedo pretty hard and get out of here before I get locked in the park. I experimented with a lot of things. It's good to experiment on days that you recognize, hey, they're eating lots of stuff. I got them on the full-size goat. I got them on a couple different swim baits, including the mag draft, the smaller version of the Shadtron. I had a couple fish hit the Mullitron, but didn't get hooked. For sure, Scented Jerk ShadZ in 5 and 7 inches. Got a couple spinnerbait fish. It's just good to experiment and mess around when hey, they're gonna eat. It gives you that confidence to try it in a variety with a bait that you're not totally convinced is gonna work. It gives you a chance to catch them in a variety of situations. And but ultimately, I mean, I went to this when I recognized that slow sort of throw it out there and just let it wander in front of them. Not a fast, presentation was, but a moving presentation was getting the job done. Got it done with a 5 at first, and then said, you know what? If they're doing this, give them something big. But that took time. And the 1/2 ounce jackhammer with the 5-inch diesel minnow, this was the search bait. This found the concentration of fish, and then this picked them apart once you said, yep, there's a bunch in this area. So having search bait and then follow-up baits, it's a good strategy. I almost just don't have time to mess with these guys. I gotta stop casting. Okay, I got out before they shut the gate. There is a gate. I don't know if they actually shut it, but it's there. I don't want to risk it. I did find a roadside pull-off, so I don't have to worry about it if I go back there. But that was a phenomenal day. For sure, credit is due to the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission for doing catch and release. And it occurred to me at some point today, I'm like, I fished this a long time ago and didn't have anywhere near this good. What's different? The catch and release for so many years has just made this region explode with just amazing river and creek smallmouth fishing. I think I ended up, it was 96.75. I think that's right, because all 19s and then the 20.75. Yeah, 96.75. I haven't done that good in a while. I think Upper Mississippi was that good about a year ago, so or about that good. Anyhow, I've already kind of given you a wrap up. I'll give you one more. Go fishing when it's raining. See ya.